Hello, once again. My name is Tim Grady. I'm coming to you from Lawton, Oklahoma, Seventh-Day Adventist Church, Lawton, Oklahoma, USA. I am just a member. Today we are going to do Amazing Facts, Bible Study Guide, number 20, the Mark of the Beast. We've already covered a lot of this in other Bible study guides by piece, but now we're going to bring it all together in this one. The next one is going to be really exciting. The USA in Bible prophecy. So, since we're about to open the Word of God, let's open this with a word of prayer. Eternal God, please help me get this right. Help me put forth what you want in these Bible study guides. Help me show people the basics of your word and the beginnings of Bible study and the chain of events in the Bible. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. Okay, warning, the devil does not want you to complete this Bible study guide. That is very true. Okay, let's let the reader take over.
A tattooed number, a computer chip under the skin, or something subtler. It's one of the most misinterpreted prophecies in all of the Bible, yet it is vitally important to understand it. In studying the mark of the beast, we must address some sensitive issues, naming names, and being specific. This is not a popular thing to do, but we must be firm because God loves his people and wants them to know the truth. This message is not from us, it comes from Jesus. And with eternal death facing those who receive the mark, it would be wrong to not help him deliver this message. So please read Revelation 13:1, 8, 16-18, and 14:9, 12, and pray for the Holy Spirit to grant you an honest and understanding heart before embarking on this study adventure.
Yes, please pray for understanding on this. Okay, Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through 8. Here we go.
1 And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. 2 And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. 3 And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. 4 And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? 5 And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. 6 And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. 7 And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations. 8 And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Okay, remember, we've already covered the beast has to be something that is over 1,000 years old. There is not a person that is over 1,000 years old. Doesn't matter. Doesn't exist. Okay, so now with that said, we know it is it's the papacy. Let's just put it that way. We know that it is that. We've determined that the mark of the beast. We've determined what the mark of the beast is. And now we're going through exactly the mark of the beast, the papacy, and how it is related to how and what that is. There are many beasts. We've covered that before because it is plural. There are many antichrists. We covered that. Okay, so we know that it is going to be a organization led by people, and they will be many antichrists within. So Revelation 16, verses 1, and all the way down to 21. Here we go.
1 And I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the 7 angels, Go your ways, and pour out the vials of the wrath of God upon the earth. 2 And the first went, and poured out his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worshipped his image. 3 And the second angel poured out his vial upon the sea, and it became as the blood of a dead man, and every living soul died in the sea. 4 And the third angel poured out his vial upon the rivers and fountains of waters, and they became blood. 5 And I heard the angel of the waters say, Thou art righteous, O Lord, which art, and wast, and shalt be, because thou hast judged thus. 6 For they have shed the blood of saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy. 7 And I heard another out of the altar say, Even so, Lord God Almighty, true and righteous are thy judgments. 8 And the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. 9 And men were scorched with great heat, and blasphemed the name of God, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. 10 And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness, and they gnawed their tongues for pain. 11 And blasphemed the God of heaven because of their pains and their sores, and repented not of their deeds. 12 And the sixth angel poured out his vial upon the great river Euphrates, and the water thereof was dried up, that the way of the kings of the east might be prepared. 13 And I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon, and out of the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet. 14 For they are the spirits of devils, working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and of the whole world, to gather them to the battle of that great day of God Almighty. 15 Behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth, and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked, and they see his shame. 16 And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon. 17 And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven, from the throne, saying, It is done. 18 And there were voices, and thunders, and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as was not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake, and so great. 19 And the great city was divided into 3 parts, and the cities of the nations fell, and great Babylon came in remembrance before God, to give unto her the cup of the wine of the fierceness of his wrath. 20 And every island fled away, and the mountains were not found. 21 And there fell upon men a great hail out of heaven, every stone about the weight of a talent, and men blasphemed God because of the plague of the hail, for the plague thereof was exceeding great.
When this happens, and is the close of man's probation, and the filthy will be filthy, the righteous will be righteous, the sheep and the goats, the wheats and the tares will be separated. At that time, you don't want to be caught with the mark of the beast. You do not want to be caught with the mark of the beast. At that time, no saint will die. So whoever lives through that little time of trouble into this big time of trouble, they will be chased, they will be persecuted, they will be hunted down, but they will not be affected by the plagues, nor will they be killed. That's important. So now let's go to Revelation chapter 14, verses 9 through 12. And here we go.
9 And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, 10 The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. 11 And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up for ever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast in his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. 12 Here is the patience of the saints, here are they that keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Jesus.
You definitely want to be in that separation and not in anyone that is waffling in the middle, that has the mark in the hand, going along to get along. You're joining the ones that have the mark in the head, that are the true believers. Okay. And here is the next statement.
An urgent reminder. We learned from Study Guide 2 that a terrible conflict is in progress between God and the devil. It has raged through the centuries since Lucifer, heaven's most powerful angel, rebelled against God. With the angels who joined him, he attempted to seize control of the universe. God and the loyal angels had no choice but to eject Lucifer and his angels from heaven. Lucifer, who became known as Satan, was infuriated. His determination to control the universe has only grown since. Amazingly, he has won the support of the majority of Earth's people in his rebellion. The Lord also asks for people's loyalty and support, but he leaves all free to choose. Soon every person on Earth will have aligned with either Satan or God. The final battle between Satan and God is just ahead, and it is described in the book of Revelation. This prophetic book points out that God has an emblem, a mark, that will identify his people. Satan also has an emblem, a mark, that will identify those who support him. As usual, Satan will work through an earthly power symbolized in Revelation by a beast to impose his mark. This study guide will reveal the beast's mark, which every lost person of the end time will receive. Unless you know what his mark is, how will you avoid receiving it?
That is a very important point. Okay. A hint. In the head is true believer. In the hand, go along to get along. That's the difference. In the head, intentionally, knowingly, making a choice. In the hand is your actions, but you do not want to do, but you're doing it to go along, to get along, instead of being totally obedient. Okay. This is Daniel chapter 7. So let's go through verse by verse, and then we'll read Daniel chapter 7, and you can pick out what it's talking about. Here we go.
1. In order to know what the mark of the beast is, we must first identify the beast. How does the Bible describe it? Answer. A. It rises from the sea, verse 1.
Remember, sea, multitude of people, great population. Okay? Out of the earth, low population. That's going to be really important in the next Bible study guide when we describe America in prophecy. Here we go. Out of chapter 7, Daniel chapter 7. Here we go.
B. It is the composite of the 4 beasts in Daniel chapter 7, verse 2.
Okay.
C. The dragon gives it power and authority, verse 2.
Dragon, the devil.
D. It receives a deadly wound, verse 3.
Yes. That was when Berthier arrested the Pope. The Pope died in captivity, and it did not have the papal. It was just the Catholic Church at that time, and it did not have church and state mixed together. Verse 3.
E. Its deadly wound is healed, verse 3.
Okay. That is somewhere in the 1930s, late 20s, early 30s, when Italy gave the government back. But in the true healing of the wound will be covered in the next Bible study guide. Here we go.
F. It is a strong political power, verses 3, 7.
And here we go.
G. It is a strong religious power, verses 3, 8.
When you mix religion and state, never a good thing. And by the way, communism is a religion of anti-God. Came out of the French Revolution. Yeah, we'll cover that again a little in the next Bible study guide. But when you merge church and state together, never a good thing. We can go all the way back to when the children of Israel had the kings. Before that, they had judges. And when they had mixed church and state, kings, bad things happened. Okay.
H. It is guilty of blasphemy, verses 1, 5, 6.
Okay. So keep all this in mind when you're going through it. Here we go.
I. It wars with and overcomes the saints, verse 7.
Overcomes, persecutes, kills. Dark Ages. Yeah.
J. It rules for 42 months, verse 5.
We've already covered that. And here it is.
K. It has a mysterious number 666, verse 18.
Yes, we've covered that already. So let's go to Daniel, chapter 7, start to finish. Here we go.
Daniel. Chapter 7. 1. In the first year of Belshazzar king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream, and told the sum of the matters. 2. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and, behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. 3. And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. 4. The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it. 5. And behold another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. 6. After this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. 7. After this I saw in the night visions, and behold a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns. 8. I considered the horns, and, behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and, behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire. 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened. 11. I beheld then because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. 12. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time. 13. I saw in the night visions, and, behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days, and they brought him near before him. 14. And there was given him dominion, and glory, and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages, should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed. 15. I Daniel was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. 16. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. 17. These great beasts, which are 4 kings, which shall arise out of the earth. 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom, and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. 20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. 21. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them. 22. Until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down, and break it in pieces. 24. And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall rise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings. 25. And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time.
We've covered
26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. 27. And the kingdom and dominion, and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven, shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. 28. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me, but I kept the matter in my heart.
Lot in here. So let's go back through them and listen to them really quickly.
Answer. A. It rises from the sea, verse 1. B. It is the composite of the 4 beasts in Daniel chapter 7, verse 2. C. The dragon gives it power and authority, verse 2. D. It receives a deadly wound, verse 3. E. Its deadly wound is healed, verse 3. F. It is a strong political power, verses 3, 7. G. It is a strong religious power, verses 3, 8. H. It is guilty of blasphemy, verses 1, 5, 6. I. It wars with and overcomes the saints, verse 7. J. It rules for 42 months, verse 5. K. It has a mysterious number 666, verse 18.
Okay, let's go on to the statement below. And here we go.
Do some of these points have a familiar ring? They should. You encountered many of them earlier when we studied about the Antichrist in Daniel chapter 7. The beast introduced in Revelation 13:1 is simply another name for the Antichrist, which we learned from Daniel 7 is the papacy. Prophecies in the books of Daniel and Revelation are often presented multiple times, with details added each time to encourage accurate interpretation. So expect to learn some new things about the Antichrist from this study guide. Now let's consider, one by one, the 11 points that describe the beast.
Okay, we've already covered Daniel chapter 7 completely. Now, let's go to Revelation 13, verses 1 and 4. Here we go.
1 And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. 2 And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. 3 And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. 4 And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Again, a composite coming out of many waters as compared to coming out of the land. Okay. So we've got that. So let's go through all of these points.
It would rise from the sea, Revelation 13:1. The sea, or water, in prophecy refers to people or a populated area, Revelation 17:15. So the beast Antichrist would arise amid the established nations of the then known world. The papacy arose in Western Europe, so it fits this point.
Okay. Revelation 7:15. We're going to start in Revelation chapter 17, verses 12 through 18. Here we go.
12 And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. 13 These have one mind, and shall give their power and strength unto the beast. 14 These shall make war with the Lamb, and the Lamb shall overcome them, for he is Lord of lords, and King of kings, and they that are with him are called, and chosen, and faithful. 15 And he saith unto me, The waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, and multitudes, and nations, and tongues. 16 And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. 17 For God hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree, and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of God shall be fulfilled. 18 And the woman which thou sawest is that great city, which reigneth over the kings of the earth.
Plain and clear. Okay. So let's go. And here's more explanation.
A word of explanation. In harmony with God's command to honor all people, 1 Peter 2:17, we pause here to recognize the papacy for her many good deeds and activities. Her hospitals, orphanages, care for the poor, homes for unwed mothers, and care for the aged are appreciated universally. She can honestly be lauded for many things. But, like all other organizations, she has also made serious errors. God pinpoints some of these errors in Revelation. The Lord, who blesses and comforts, must sometimes chasten and correct. Please ask His Spirit to speak to you as you continue studying this crucial topic.
Very important. 1 Peter chapter 2, verses 14 through 20.
14 Or unto governors, as unto them that are sent by him for the punishment of evildoers, and for the praise of them that do well. 15 For so is the will of God, that with well-doing ye may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. 16 As free, and not using your liberty for a cloak of maliciousness, but as the servants of God. 17 Honor all men. Love the brotherhood. Fear God. Honor the king. 18 Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only to the good and gentle, but also to the froward. 19 For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully. 20 For what glory is it, if, when ye be buffeted for your faults, ye shall take it patiently? But if, when ye do well, and suffer for it, ye take it patiently, this is acceptable with God.
God hates rebellion. Even when it's rebelling, there are things we can do to resist it, but we cannot lift a sword against it. Sword of truth, yes, but the sword as in guns, weapons. When Christ was taken, he said, my followers are not of this world. If they were, they would raise up arms and fight for me. But he did not want us to fight for him. He will fight for us. We must remember that. And yes, if we suffer wrongfully, God will make that up in the kingdom of God. The balances will be made just. Okay. And again, let's go through this. And there's going to be a little uh, Daniel 7 and Revelation 13 comparison.
B. It would be a composite of the four beasts of Daniel chapter 7, Revelation 13:2. Study the comparison below to see how it all fits together.
Okay. Babylon, like a beast. In verse 4 in Revelation, in Daniel. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. Yeah, we're going to have to open up Daniel and Revelation and go through this one at a time. It's important. It really is. It really is so important. I know this one may run into 4 because of it. But it's that important. So let's put these where they belong. And we got to go to Revelation 13. It is in Daniel chapter 7. And that's going to be on the other side. So Daniel chapter 7. Here we go. Okay, Daniel chapter 7, verse 4. Let's go there. There we go.
The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
Man's heart means there's people in conspiracy with the beast or the dragon or the devil. Okay? Mouth of a lion, verse 2, in Revelation chapter 13, verse 2. And it speaks as the devil. Mouth. Actions. Laws. Laws passed. That's how a nation speaks, is through its laws.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Following and doing the will of the devil. Okay. Medo-Persia. Bear-like. Daniel. Verse 5. And here we go. And behold another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
Yeah, it was all, yeah. Okay. And the other one, feet of a bear. Revelation verse 2. Let's check that. Yeah, it's feet of a bear. Verse 2. Yeah, it's still in verse 2. There's a talk from the one to the other. Yep, that's correct.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. Again,
When it's something that speaks, it is laws, because that's how a nation speaks. That's how a nation takes action. Greece, leopard-like beast, and verse 6. And we come down to verse 6. There we go.
After this I beheld, and lo another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
And if you notice, Daniel gives them individually. Revelation puts them into a compilation and mixes them together. Again, verse 2.
And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
Again, one after another, but still conspiring with the devil, making laws, and speaking. 10-horned beast in verse 7, in Daniel verse 7. And we'll go back to verse 1.
After this I saw in the night visions, and behold a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Remember, Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, Rome, pagan Rome, actually. Then it is papal Rome and Rome of the end time combined church and state, beast of final persecution. Those are the order we must remember. So now we have to go, now we have to go to Revelation 1. Here it is.
And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 1. Sorry. Yeah. And that's describing where it comes down to at the end time. Okay. Here we go.
The 4 beasts of Daniel 7 are depicted as part of Antichrist, or the beast, because the papacy incorporated pagan beliefs and practices from all 4 empires. She clothed them in spiritual garb and spread them to the world as Christian teachings. Here is one of many supporting statements from history. In a certain respect, the papacy has copied her organization from that of the Roman Empire, has preserved and made fruitful the philosophical intuitions of Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle, borrowed from both barbarians and the Byzantine Roman Empire, but always remains herself, thoroughly digesting all elements drawn from external sources. 1. This point definitely fits the papacy.
Okay. In this one, you're going to have to do a lot of research, not only in the Bible, but there are going to be references that you're going to need to go look up. This one is going to take a lot of effort and a lot of time to go through. This isn't just go through this. There are 3 so far. This is the 3rd that has a lot of Bible, but you have to look into history to prove the Bible. And this is another one, because there's going to be a lot of quotes, and they're all easily looked up on the internet. Okay, and here we go.
See, the beast must receive its power, seat, capital, and authority from the dragon. Revelation 13:2. To identify the dragon, we go to Revelation chapter 12, where God's end-time church is pictured as a pure woman. In prophecy, a pure woman represents God's true people or church. Jeremiah 6:2, Isaiah 51:16. In Study Guide 23, we will present a detailed study of God's end-time church of Revelation chapter 12. Study Guide 22 explains Revelation chapters 17 and 18, where fallen churches are symbolized by a fallen mother and her fallen daughters. The pure woman is portrayed as pregnant and about to deliver. The dragon crouches nearby, hoping to devour the baby at birth. However, when the baby is born, he evades the dragon, fulfills his mission, and then ascends to heaven. Obviously the baby is Jesus, whom Herod tried to destroy by killing all the babies in Bethlehem, Matthew 2:16. So the dragon represents pagan Rome, of which Herod was a king. The power behind Herod's plot was, of course, the devil, Revelation 12:7-9. Satan acts through various governments to accomplish his ugly work, in this case, pagan Rome.
Okay, we're going to go back over this because I made a mistake and clicked off. I'm trying to keep organized. Again, this one is very yeah, we'll get rid of these 2 because we took care of that. Revelation 12. Yes. Okay, now, sorry, I'm back organized again. Revelation. So here we go. Let's listen to this one again.
See, the beast must receive its power, seat, capital, and authority from the dragon. Revelation 13:2. To identify the dragon, we go to Revelation chapter 12, where God's end-time church is pictured as a pure woman. In prophecy, a pure woman represents God's true people or church. Jeremiah 6:2, Isaiah 51:16. In Study Guide 23, we will present a detailed study of God's end-time church of Revelation chapter 12. Study Guide 22 explains Revelation chapters 17 and 18, where fallen churches are symbolized by a fallen mother and her fallen daughters. The pure woman is portrayed as pregnant and about to deliver. The dragon crouches nearby, hoping to devour the baby at birth. However, when the baby is born, he evades the dragon, fulfills his mission, and then ascends to heaven. Obviously the baby is Jesus, whom Herod tried to destroy by killing all the babies in Bethlehem, Matthew 2:16. So the dragon represents pagan Rome, of which Herod was a king. The power behind Herod's plot was, of course, the devil, Revelation 12:7-9. Satan acts through various governments to accomplish his ugly work, in this case, pagan Rome.
Okay, we're going to go all the way through here. And back in Revelation chapter 2, it was the compilation of the beast. We went through Daniel and put the correlation of them together. Okay. Like I said, you're going to have to go back and forth on this one. Okay. Revelation chapter 12. We're going to have to go through that one completely. Here we go.
Revelation. Chapter 12. 1. And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. 2. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. 3. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. 4. And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them to the earth, and the dragon stood before the woman which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. 5. And she brought forth a man-child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron, and her child was caught up unto God, and to his throne. 6. And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she hath a place prepared of God, that they should feed her there 1,260 days. 7. And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. 8. And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. 9. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, Now is come salvation, and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. 14. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. 15. And the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. 16. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth, and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth. 17. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of God, and have the testimony of Jesus Christ.
Okay. If you go to my channel, when you're watching this video, down below the video on the, I think the left-hand side, you'll find the channel and the channel description. You click on the channel, and if you go under in that description, you will find 4 references. You're going to find a link to Ellen White writings, where you can find the book, The Great Controversy. In that book, you can find described in a storyline commentary of everything that happened from the stoning of Stephen, the fall of Jerusalem, all the way till today. And that will help. The next one is Pastor Gene Ross. His 29 episode of Daniel, to understand clearly what Daniel's all about. I recommend that. The next one is Pastor Stephen Bohr. And he's going through Matthew 24, and it is 30. It's either 24 or 30 episodes. I'm sorry. Don't remember what it is, but it is a lot of episodes. But it explains Matthew 24 in extreme detail, as it also covers from the stoning of Stephen until the present time, and how that covers it. And the last reference is Tim Rosenberg, Pastor Tim Rosenberg. He's also an evangelist, and all of the ones I've mentioned with the videos are also pastors and evangelists. He covers Daniel 11 in a 10-part series. I think he's up to 11 now, and he covers it in extreme detail. And with those, we'll make this subject and Bible study, yes, it is a lot of hours. But if you're going to try and understand the Bible for what it is and get a good foundation, I believe Those are things you need to go through to get a much more clear understanding. So we're going to go to Jeremiah chapter 6, verses 1 through 5. Here we go.
1 O ye children of Benjamin, gather yourselves to flee out of the midst of Jerusalem, and blow the trumpet in Tekoa, and set up a sign of fire in Beth-Haxerim, for evil appeareth out of the north, and great destruction. 2 I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman. 3 The shepherds with their flocks shall come unto her, they shall pitch their tents against her round about, they shall feed every one in his place. 4 Prepare ye war against her, arise, and let us go up at noon. Woe unto us! For the day goeth away, for the shadows of the evening are stretched out. 5 Arise, and let us go by night, and let us destroy her palaces.
Okay. I'm going to go off on a tangent. We're going to go deep in the weeds. This king of the north, battle of the king of the north and the king of the south. Let's go through the king of the north as we know it. It is Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and the different Romes. Pagan Rome, Papal Rome, Rome of the mixed clay, and beast of the end time. Okay. But we have a king of the south, which is currently atheism, which is China, Russia, and their allies, along with radical Islam, not Islam itself. And it's the half-brothers from the past. So this conflict in Israel has been set up, and it is currently King of the North and King of the South are both marionettes being controlled by Satan. And those marionettes are fighting to cause strife in the world because that's what Satan wants. So the King of the North is right-wing politics around the world. So King of the North is more than just communism, atheism. It is also right-wing politics. King of the South is also left-wing politics. If you want an explanation of that, you've got to watch Tim Rosenberg's, I think it's 13 hours, and go through that. And he explains all of how King of the North and right-wing politics, King of the South, left-wing politics, and how it has been wrong. And this war that is currently going on in Israel, both sides are controlled by the devil. So both sides are wrong. When you are having someone that is fighting in the name of God, whether it is Islam or it is the God of atheism, communism, or it is the God, so-called, of Jesus Christ and Christianity out of the papal system, neither side is right when they go and kill people and force. And that is where anytime you get church and state together and church and state together, bad things happen. And I'm sorry for going off on that tangent, but I feel it's very important at this point that you understand that the war in the Middle East is, and it started on 9/11. And this war that started on 9/11 is going to be the same war. It is going to come in waves and pieces, and wars and rumors of wars are going to come until the end of this world. We are in the final war. I cannot stress that enough. I'm sorry to be so clear and blunt, but both sides, if you go off to the right side politics, or you go off to the left side politics. Both ditches will get you lost. Both philosophies will get you lost. The only one that saves you is that relationship with Jesus Christ and that narrow, sharp, hard to follow path that leads to Jesus Christ and the everlasting salvation. I cannot stress that enough. And I'm sorry I'm pushing on that hard. But it's important. It truly is important. And you can go through the history. It would be nice when you could sit down with one of Tim Rosenberg's, where he's doing a week-long seminar and he's doing 5 presentations a day on the history. And when he's doing the complete, and he brings on other people with history, and you're taking it in multiple days at a time. And he shows how history, Daniel never misses. But again, these Bible studies are only a beginning point. So let's go to Matthew chapter 2, verses 13 through 19. Here we go.
13 And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. 14 When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt. 15 And was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. 16 Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth, and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. 17 Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, 18 In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation, and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not. 19 But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt.
Again, going back to that revelation, talking about the child that it was trying to devour and all that goes with that. Revelation chapter 12, verses 7 through 9. Here we go.
7 And there was war in heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. 8 And prevailed not, neither was their place found any more in heaven. 9 And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, called the devil, and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
Okay, I think we're through that, yes. Revelation 12:9. Yep, we're through that one. So let's go to this next point here. So here we go.
We will quote just 2 supportive references from history. 1. The Roman Church pushed itself into the place of the Roman world empire, of which it is the actual continuation. The Pope is Caesar's successor. 2. The mighty Catholic Church was little more than the Roman Empire Baptist is. Rome was transformed as well as converted. The very capital of the old empire became the capital of the Christian empire. The office of Pontifex Maximus was continued in that of Pope. 3. South This point also fits the papacy. She received her capital city and power from pagan Rome.
So at this point, we're only going with 2 references, and those are the 2 references. You'll have to look that up in history to confirm the Bible.
D. It would receive a deadly wound. Revelation 13:3. The deadly wound was inflicted when Napoleon's general, Alexander Berthier, entered Rome and took Pope Pius VI captive in February of 1798. Napoleon decreed that at the death of the Pope, the papacy would be discontinued. The Pope died in France in August of 1799. Half Europe thought that without the Pope the papacy was dead. 4. South This point also fits the papacy.
Again, you can look that up in history. Okay. Here we go.
E. The deadly wound would be healed, and the entire world would give homage to the beast. Revelation 13:3. Since its healing, the strength of the papacy has grown. Today she is one of the most powerful religious political organizations and influence centers in the world.
No question. And we're going to do a 13:3 in context. So Revelation chapter 13, verses 1 through 6. Here we go.
1 And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. 2 And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion, and the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority. 3 And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. 4 And they worshipped the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him? 5 And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. 6 And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
Very clear. What is happening here? The beast power. The deadly wound. All that went with it. And so now. Yeah, let's continue through a little while longer. Here we go.
About the Pope. He is the most well-known person in our world. People of the world see him as a strong moral leader. Thousands of Catholics and non-Catholics throng to him when he visits other countries. In 2015, he spoke before a joint session of the U.S. Congress for the first time in history.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
About the papacy. An American ambassador has said the Vatican is unmatched as a listening post. 5 Papal structure is already prepared for worldwide control.
Okay.
Clearly, the wound is healing and the eyes of the nations are upon the Vatican, fitting the prophecy of the Bible.
Very much so.
It would become a strong political power. Revelation 13:3-7. See item E above.
Let's go over here to Revelation 13. And we'll just read 3 and 7. Here we go.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
And 7.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds, and tongues, and nations.
Again, the political power and the structure of who and what it is. So let's get rid of this Revelation 13:3. And again, we can go back through here.
G. It would become a very powerful religious organization. Revelation 13:3-8. See item E above.
And we'll go back to 3. Revelation 13, verse 3.
And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast.
And it said 8. Yep. And 8. Here we go.
And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world.
Yes. Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, Jesus Christ. And back here to H.
H. It would be guilty of blasphemy. Revelation 13:5-6. The papacy is guilty of blasphemy because her priests claim to forgive sins and her popes claim to be Christ.
Vicar of Christ. 5 and 6. And here we go.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. 6 And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name, and his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven.
Very much so. Blasphemy. So let's go back here. And we'll go through I. Relations. Yeah, we already looked at that. Looked at that. We looked at that. at. Okay, that's where we should be at. Nope. Okay, here we go.
I would war with and persecute the saints. Revelation 13:7. The papacy did persecute and destroy millions of saints during the Dark Ages.
No question. Any history book can show you that.
J. It would reign for 42 months. Revelation 13:5. The papacy reigned for 42 prophetic months, which equals 1,260 years, from AD 538-1798.
That's the day for a year principle. Okay. And that was Revelation 13:5 again. And here we go.
And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
Again, 1,260 years.
Points H through J also clearly fit the papacy. We touched on them only briefly here because they were covered thoroughly in Study Guide 15, Question 8.
Again, yes. And much of this is covered over and over in these Bible study guides. Let's go through K. And here we go. This one's going to be a long one.
K. It would have the mysterious number 666, Revelation 13:18. This verse says, it is the number of a man, and Revelation 15:2 refers to the number of his name. What man do you think of when you think of the papacy? Naturally, we think of the Pope. What is his official name? Here is a Catholic quote. The title of the Pope of Rome is Vicarius Filii Dei, English, Vicar of the Son of God. Point 6 Malachi Martin, in the Keys of this Blood, uses the same title for the Pope on page 114. A footnote for Revelation 13:18 in some Dway versions of the Bible says, the numeral letters of his name shall make up this number. Notice the chart at right, which shows what happens when we total up the Roman numeral value of the letters of the name. Again, the papacy fits the identification point. The beast with the mark is the papacy. No other power in history could possibly fit these 11 divine descriptive points. Now that we have positively identified the beast, we can discover her mark, or symbol of authority. But first, let's look at God's sign of authority.
Okay, so we're going to do a little compare and contrast. So 13, yeah, 15:2. Okay, so now we're doing the compare and contrast. We've got the beast. Here we go.
1 André Redoff, The Catholic Spirit, trans. By D.O.M. Aldhelm Dean, Volume 88 of the 20th Century Encyclopedia of Catholicism, New York, Hawthorne Books, 1959, p. 85.
Okay, I'm going to let you go through all of these footnotes and look them up yourself. We're not going to spend time going through that. Now we're going to get down to the mark and symbol of God. We're going to leave it here. We've already covered this, Revelation 15:2, and we've already covered this, 13:18. Yes. Okay, so we're going to pick it up now with next time in part 2. We're going to pick it up in what is God's mark or symbol of authority. I'm going to pick that up next time. And I'm sorry, we're going in this very in depth, but it has to be in depth to get this right. So with that said, please go through those. Please go through those other points. Please go through all of those points in history. And if you want the shortcut to a lot of those, you can watch the other references, Pastor Ross, Pastor Bohr, and Pastor Rosenberg's presentations on YouTube. They are on the link in the channel description. So with that said, out here.